And hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Breakdown. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And this is a early edition of College Football 26 Dynasty Mode. We won the national championship last year for the University of Miami. And what a great year for college football, with the fact that Indiana has risen up from the ashes, not a traditional blue blood college football team, and they came, they saw, they conquered. They have the historic distinction of being the only team besides Yale to go 16-0. What's up, Wither King? Glad to have you guys on. And Morning Prime, glad to have you on.
Just had nowhere to go. Got to give credit to the
and so looking at the top 10 teams that could take the throne away from Indiana. Indiana is one of those teams. Thank you. So obviously Indiana is the number one team because of who they have and who they've recruited. Yes, they lose Fabio Mendoza. Oh, thank you guys. Yesterday we went to the park. We had a great day at the park. And big shout out to Wither King, big shout out to Prime Time. But obviously, Indiana and Miami are 1 and 2 respectively. I think Miami is just a quarterback away from winning the national championship because, as you saw last year, Carson Beck, man, had he not made that throw, we would be talking a whole different thing here. Miami could be the team that held up that trophy in their own stadium. I actually think that Miami is going to be the king of the ACC this year. The only team I could see giving Miami any trouble, the only two teams in the ACC, let me be clear, I think is going to be either Clemson or UVA. The University of Virginia actually looked like a complete football team at times last year, and they should have beat Duke in the ACC championship, but they didn't.
Off the play fake on first down. Looking downfield near the end zone.
And my dumbass throws a pick.
For defensive backs, man, they salivate for opportunities like this. Some may only get 1 or 2 a year.
So,
not going to squander this chance.
1 and 2 is Indiana and Miami. Number 3 is the Ohio State Buckeyes, because you always got to mention Ohio State. Even though in the playoffs, they have a shitty record in the playoffs. Ryan Day has not been a very good coach in the playoffs. And I don't know if that's just because he thinks he can do it all. He thinks that he can, do the offensive coordinating and the defensive coordinating. I don't know. Number 4 is Texas. I think Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning will come back next year and lit the SEC on fire. Also, hold on, let me switch controllers here. My controller's dying. Give me one. Also got to mention Michigan. Michigan hiring Kyle Whittingham. That's going to be a very interesting hire. And Kyle Whittingham has had success at Utah, but we'll see how he does at Michigan. And I'm not going to mention Alabama. I don't think Alabama's there yet. I think Alabama took a huge step back in that loss against Indiana, because everyone thought that Alabama was back when they beat Oklahoma. That was not the case. Alabama just did not look like a complete football team to me. Still doesn't look like a complete football team to me. And Captain Mad Martin, welcome aboard the SS College Football. I'm your host, John Breakdown. Big shout out to Mad Martin, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't watched his streams, his GTA streams, in fact, are fucking hilarious. Excuse my language. To quote Pat McAfee.
Attempts.
So right now in this game against Georgia Tech, I think Georgia Tech
0 lead.
is the other ACC team, the third ACC team that could potentially win the national championship because they looked like a complete football team early in the season. Early in the season, the Yellow Jackets went 7-0 before fading down the stretch.
And it's fielded. Returner trying to make
I think Colorado could. Dion has look, I'll say this about Colorado. Dion needs to get a better offensive coordinator. He I think if Dion doesn't do well at Colorado this year, I think they're going to buy him out. Because this is year 3 or 4 for Dion at Colorado. He's lost some major recruits to other programs. His sons have graduated. And I think that he needs to go back to what made him such a good coach at Jackson State and running that hybrid Wildcat offense. Also, this year is going to be a huge test for Virginia Tech. James Franklin taking over that program, getting the blessing from Frank Beamer. I think that Virginia Tech needs to go back to what made Virginia Tech special, and that's Beamer ball. Focus on special teams and defense. Don't worry about the offense too much. And part of me kind of wished that they would have hired Michael Vick because Michael Vick actually understood what Virginia Tech football is all about. And hope he has a good year at Norfolk State this coming season. And also, we can't forget about the Bulldog, the Georgia Bulldogs. Again, Kirby Smart, great recruiter. We'll see how they go. Will Gunnar Stockton improve? Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying that Alabama's not a complete football team. Ole Miss, I actually thought Ole Miss was going to win it all, and they get beat by Miami. Now, do I think Pete Golding is the right coach for Ole Miss? We'll find out. But also, let's not forget about the other coach that's in the Bayou, Lane Kiffin. Good old Lane. We'll see what Lane can do in his first season as the head coach of the Bayou Bengals, the LSU Tigers. And speaking of LSU, LSU's in the crosshairs of the football committee. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mad Martin will be streaming with Bogan in GTA later on today. And part of me wonders, will we see another unknown team that's never won the National Football Championship in college football take that next step forward? Like, let's talk about Tennessee, because Tennessee just got a huge win. Jesse Aguilar got a temporary injunction to play another year for Tennessee. At least I don't have to worry about Diego Pavia suiting up for the Vanderbilt Commodores. And the only reason Diego made Vanderbilt a better college football team was because he was a quarterback that could actually throw and make plays. I don't think his backup's going to do any better.
They came up empty on the last possession, forced to punt it away, and they begin to click now.
And Michigan, Michigan's going to have to come out and just whip ass in order to impress me, because I do not have Discord. I no longer have a Discord because my phone doesn't have the space for Discord because of my work.
Second down, we're going to throw it. Defense is coming after him. Pressure it and get it. A loss back to the 7-yard
And also, big shout out to the Purdue Boilermakers. Drew Brees going into the College Football Hall of Fame. Larry Fitzgerald going into the Hall of Fame. Roger Craig finally going into the finally going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
It's going to be the last time we're going to see this quarterback on his back.
So here comes 3rd and long. Giving up that sack has made this a real challenge for the offense.
Honestly,
Bringing pressure.
if I had to pick a Cinderella team that I thought that could rise from obscurity,
anything at all to help this offensive line, they're overmatched so far in this game.
it would have to be the Texas Tech Raiders, because during the regular season, Texas Tech was one of the best offensive teams I've ever seen. Like, they kind of look like the old Michael Leach teams, the air raid teams of old, back when Mike Leach had Michael Crabtree.
The ball is away from his own end zone. Fielding the punt, looking to improve field position here. Still going, it's a foot race. And he's going to head out of bounds, but not before picking up some good yardage on the return. And the Hurricanes offense.
I also think that Penn State's got to be in the mix, depending on.
On first down, it's play action. Contact as he threw it. Touchdown, Miami. This passing game is on fire today. We had a short field.
I also think USC could kind of make a run for the national championship. But also, let's talk about the red-headed stepchild of the college football playoffs, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. So they got this clause now to where if they have a better regular season than anyone else, and it comes down to who gets in, they're automatically in. And I think that's bullshit. I think that Notre Dame should join an actual conference instead of being independent. I think Notre Dame should join either the SEC or the ACC to put its money where its mouth is and go up against some of the best teams in college football. Exactly. Because you got teams like Oklahoma, if John Mateer comes back for one more season, Oklahoma, they're a scrappy team, and they could have a hell of a run. They also got a great running game. I also think that, and again, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to miss Captain Mad Martin's streams, don't forget to press that bell. He only streams on Fridays.
Finally throws it deep to the right. And it's hauled in. Catch made way downfield. Tackle made after a huge gain all the way to the 40. One explosive play has set them up at the opponent's 40. First down, we're going to throw the ball.
I also think that maybe James Madison or Tulane could make a run at the national championship. I also think that Florida, with John Summerall as their head coach, could make a run at the national championship. Because it's been way too long since we talked about the Florida Gators. And again, correction, Captain Mad Martin streams on Fridays and Saturdays.
And as we flip the field and begin quarter number 2, we'll see if they can continue to build this lead.
And, I'm kind of losing my voice. I am picking the Seattle Seahawks to beat the New England Patriots. Sorry, I don't want to see another Patriots dynasty because I believe the Chiefs dynasty is still there. We've just had a last sucker season.
Difficult to be able to match up for his safety. He's got the speed to be able to outrun a
because Patrick Mahomes is coming back. We got Eric Bieniemy back. We're going to get Tyreek Hill in the offseason, I believe, unless Tyreek Hill wants to go join the Raiders.
Here's the snap, looking to throw. That's going to be incomplete.
You know who else could potentially be a Cinderella team this year, and I just thought about it. No one's talking about the Stanford Cardinals.
And as a result, he's unable to hold on to the football.
After the incompletion, they'll have to try to convert here.
Stanford ran roughshod in the ACC for the last month and a half. My day has just started. I have an appointment to
Man, really good job
with
here by
the
defense flying around.
America Red Cross later that I got to go to.
Short of the first down.
Oh, and it's blocked.
Blocked.
Somebody got a hand on it.
This is what a lot of film work can do for you for a special teams coach. I think they saw what they wanted from the right side there. They deliberately attacked that side. They come up with the block.
And I think if Kalen DeBoer... So here's my take on Alabama. I think Alabama should be ranked like 19th or 20th. I don't think Bama should be anywhere near the top 5 or even in the top 10. I think Alabama has a lot of work to do, especially with Ty Simpson leaving and the fact that we've had no running game. Our defense was sound.
Explosive play. This offense is set up just outside the 30. On first
Look, let's be honest. New England can't stop the Offensive Player of the Year, JMB, and also let's really look at Drake May. Drake May is doing his best Trent Dilfer impersonation. The only reason New England has even made it this far is because of their defense. But they haven't gone up against a team that's like Seattle. Thank you, Wither King. It's been a tough week. Losing my stepdad on Monday, one of my best friends getting shot, and the fact that today Steph's sister is putting down her dog of 18 years because she has cancer. It's been a tough week. However, on a good note, my daughter is officially a week old. She had her first bath yesterday. And she's healthy. She's getting healthy. She's not looking so much jaundice. She's getting sunlight, and so gotta take the good with the bad.
He's going to try for a return from a couple of yards deep in the end zone. The returner brought down by that coverage team. And here comes the Georgia Tech offense back out on the field. The offense starts this drive in the shadow of their own end zone.
And I'm hoping that my work pays me today. We had a payroll issue.
Play fake, looking to throw one first down.
That's a safety.
I mean, that's another sack, Chris. I mean, we're just getting started here. First half, and you're already talking about giving up 3 sacks.
Yeah. So it's been
things up schematically, help that offensive line, and help.
Like, honestly, in college football, I think it's going to be between Indiana and Miami. Who's going to really take that number 1 and number 2 spot away from those two teams? Because let's be honest here, James Madison and Tulane should have never been in the college football playoffs. Alabama didn't even deserve to be in the college football playoffs, and I'm a diehard Alabama fan.
Keep the defense guessing. That's why some of the best coaches of all time have primarily done it with great run games.
A deep shot to the right. That one is in.
It's going to be a very defensive Super Bowl, but I think Sam Darnold's the better quarterback between the two. I think Sam Darnold is going to get his first Super Bowl ring, and that also means if Seattle wins, my boy Jalen Milroe becomes the second Alabama quarterback, or sorry, the third Alabama quarterback to win a Super Bowl ring. We got to talk about Jalen Hurts and Joe Namath are the only two Alabama quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl.
And the Miami offense is back on the field. They've really built momentum in this game. They've been hard to stop. And the defense makes some adjustments, come up with a stop.
And right now, the Yellow Jackets are facing a hurricane of offense here.
Makes a quick catch. And the defense swarms, not much of a gain on that completion.
But I think the most puzzling thing to me, looking at the offseason in the NFL, is the fact that Sean Payton fired his offensive coordinator, who, like, if I don't know if Sean Payton is just crazy or if he just believes that the offensive coordinator is the reason why they didn't win that game. I mean, you didn't have Drake May. I mean, sorry, not Drake May. You didn't have Bo Nix. Nix injured his ankle. And the fact that You were right there. You're on the cuffs of having a Super Bowl winning season, and you fire the architect of your offense, and your quarterback's not happy about it.
Second down and goal. Off the play fake, looking to pass it. The pocket breaking down. No stopping him on that run. Touchdown. Hurry.
And Miami scores again.
They began with great field position, and that didn't take long at all, Kurt.
Well, that's how you take advantage of an opportunity. Your defense sets you up in great field position. You're not looking for a field goal. You're looking for a touchdown. Give the credit to this offense for being aggressive and punching it in.
No. No. No, no, no. Hell no. No, no, no. The Las Vegas Raiders need to keep that #1 overall draft pick. And Max Crosby doesn't want to play for the Ravens. I'm sorry. Max Crosby, look, if I'm the Oakland Raiders, I think Max Crosby is on either the second to last year of his deal. I would trade him to a team that has a plethora of draft picks and keep that #1 overall pick. That way you have that plethora of draft picks to rebuild that Raiders team. And here's the reason why. Lamar Jackson is a bum. He is a bust. He's a great regular season quarterback, don't get me wrong. Sometimes when he can stay healthy, he's the main reason why the Ravens don't have very many offensive weapons besides Zay Flowers. Because Lamar Jackson only cares about one thing, and that's Lamar Jackson. He doesn't care about the team that he plays for, which is why he took that $60 million contract, and he hasn't won you a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. He's won several NFL MVP awards, yes, but he hasn't won you a Lombardi trophy. Whereas other quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes will negotiate their contract to allow their team to have cap space. Unlike this year, however, the Chiefs have one of the worst cap spaces, and they're going to have to cut some people or restructure some deals. And I'm pretty sure they'll be able to do that, especially with Patrick Mahomes going to be angry and pissed off. So if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, I would go offense with my first 2 picks. I would get Fabio Mendoza, and then I would get his wide receiver that was at Indiana, his favorite target. That way he feels like he has security there. Then I would go after the offensive line. I would rebuild my offensive line. That way you have protection. The Raiders already have a good running game.
Off the play fake, looking to throw. He escapes the pocket. He's wide open. Look out.
And I hate to say this, but you want to know who I think has a plethora of draft picks? And if Max Crosby really wanted to go after a Lombardi trophy, go to Pittsburgh. Mike McCarthy and the Pittsburgh Steelers are in an organization that will treat you right.
Here comes a throw from the red zone.
Because can you imagine the pairing of T.J. Watt and Max Crosby? My God.
At the 6-yard line after the completion. Offense really threatening now.
I mean, how about this offense and this execution? That's 3 plays, 3 completions in the blink of an eye, and now it's 1st and goal.
This offense has been hard to stop here in the first half, and they punch it in and build the lead before the break. And he drops it. Can you believe it?
Just a misfire here by the...
Look. A.J. Brown, like, if I'm the if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, and I want to send Max Crosby anywhere besides Pittsburgh, go after Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is still healthy. He's still young enough. Or trade Max Crosby to the Vikings to get Justin Jefferson. Then you have that wide receiver that is going to be dominant.
That is a key. Good job of tackling and keep him out of the end zone.
QB bootlegs here.
Also, here's an interesting stat for all you football fans out there. The 2027 Hall of Fame class is going to feature Big Ben, Antonio Brown,
yards downfield. He didn't have anywhere to go with the ball.
They keep the kicker on the sidelines. It's fourth down from the 4. They're going for it. Bootleg looking to throw.
Oh, come on. You could have made that catch.
Fourth down stop.
Chris, I like the call here going for it on fourth down, but the receiver has got to do a better job of knowing exactly where that first down marker is and run that route a yard or two beyond the sticks to be able to give yourself a chance to pick up the first down. Instead, defense comes up with a stop and they get the ball back.
One more play before they head to
I also think it's a travesty that there was no minority head coaches hired in the NFL this season. I think I honestly think that Brian Flores should have been hired. Brian Flores is an absolute genius.
Miller's going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it now to Kevin Connors with our halftime update.
No, Kevin, no. Kevin, shut up. Kevin Connors, shut up. No.
All over this first half. He's been clogging running lanes and forcing.
Oh my God. Okay, there we go. All right.
This is an impressive performance. They played a good football.
And so we start off the 2026-2027 season with a bang.
This is going to catch people's attention.
Yeah, I think most people are going to be in awe when they look at
with number 2 Miami shellacking the 14th Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Like, I honestly think that Max Crosby needs to get out of this contract. The Las Vegas Raiders are a dumpster fire. Hell, go play at San Francisco or go play for the Rams. You know, if you don't want to play for Tom Brady and Mark Davis, then that's understandable. And everyone's in their, is in their feels about Bill Belichick not getting in, that he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's not forget about the 2 scandals that Bill Belichick had under his reign. You had Deflategate and you had Spygate. And plus, Bill Belichick pissed a lot of people off when he was coaching. He pissed a lot of people off. That's why he didn't get voted in. Let's be honest. All right? It doesn't matter if you got 10 Super Bowl rings or wins. You know? Now, do I think Tom Brady should be in? Look, if Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick don't get in on the first ballot, then by all means, that's understandable. But Tom Brady, who leads the league, who holds so many records in this league, deserves a chance to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he very well may be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But we'll find out when the 2028 Hall of Fame class is announced. And that's Steph snoring. So, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go ahead. I got to head to my appointment. I'll see you guys same breakdown time, same breakdown place.